Welcome back, United fans. Today, we're diving into the latest Manchester United news, including the hunt for an Andre Onana replacement, a star desperate to leave after brutal comments from Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and our predicted lineup for the Leicester clash. Stay tuned for all the details. Man United identify Andre Onana replacement as fresh transfer target emerges. Latest Manchester United transfer news and gossip includes an update on a potential replacement for Andre Onana as a new striker is on the radar. Manchester United have 3 months to wait until they are able to attack the summer transfer window to sign new players. The Reds opted to make just one signing in Patrick Dorgu in the January transfer window despite links to several players. With the likes of Victor Lindelof, Christian Eriksen, Johnny Evans and Tom Heaton out of contract at the end of the season, it remains to be seen what areas United will strengthen. As for matters on the pitch, Ruben Amorim's side will face Leicester City at the King Power Stadium this evening, 7 p.m. kickoff. They drew their last league game with Arsenal, 1-1, at Old Trafford but progressed to the quarterfinals of the Europa League following a 5-2 aggregate win over Real Sociedad. Andre Onana, replacement identified. United are considering a move for Lille keeper Lucas Chevalier, according to Give Me Sport. It said his performances in League One has caught the attention of United amid Onana's string of errors this season. However, it's claimed that United have not yet made a final decision over whether to follow up on their checks over Chevalier. The 23-year-old is firmly on the radar and he could be available for a fee of close to £34 million. The report adds that Barcelona and Manchester City were also circling during the winter transfer window. Chelsea, meanwhile, are also mentioned as being admirers of the French shot-stopper. Striker being closely followed. Fenerbahce striker Youssef En-Nesyri is being closely monitored by the club, claims Inside Football. The Reds are having a difficult season with both Joshua Zirkzee and Rasmus Højlund struggling to convert goals for the team. The pair have just 5 goals combined in the Premier League this term. Several strikers have been linked with a move to Old Trafford, but they are in demand heading into the summer. It's no different for En-Nesyri, who has been subject of interest from West Ham. The report states the Hammers have watched the 27-year-old in action against Rangers in the Europa League this week. Besides West Ham, Arsenal are also mentioned as monitoring the striker's situation as they look to improve their attacking options for next season. Men's Sport says, it comes as no surprise to see United being linked with plenty of strikers given the struggles both Zirkzee and Højlund have had this season. Attack has been an area of the squad Amorim and co may look to strengthen ahead of next season, although En-Nesyri has not had. Manchester United star desperate to leave Old Trafford following brutal Sir Jim Ratcliffe comment. Point 1 Manchester United star is reportedly desperate to leave the club in the summer following some brutal comments from Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Manchester United are expected to have a busy summer transfer window after the season's close, with Ruben Amorim's squad in need of strengthening. It is likely that the Reds are busy in terms of both incomings and outgoings, with sales needed in order to have a successful window. Several players have been linked with permanent moves away from Old Trafford in recent weeks. Earlier this month, Sir Jim Ratcliffe issued some brutal criticism for several Reds, suggesting that there were overpaid and not good enough players in Amorim's squad. Antony is desperate to leave United after Ratcliffe comments. One Manchester United star is reportedly desperate to leave the club in the summer following some brutal comments from Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Manchester United are expected to have a busy summer transfer window after the season's close, with Ruben Amorim's squad in need of strengthening. It is likely that the Reds are busy in terms of both incomings and outgoings, with sales needed in order to have a successful window. Several players have been linked with permanent moves away from Old Trafford in recent weeks. Earlier this month, Sir Jim Ratcliffe issued some brutal criticism for several Reds, suggesting that there were overpaid and not good enough players in Amorim's squad. Antony is desperate to leave United after Ratcliffe comments. One of the players Ratcliffe name-dropped in those interviews was Antony, who's currently on loan at Spanish side Real Betis. If you look at the players we are buying this summer that we didn't buy, we're buying Antony, we're buying Casemiro, we're buying Onana, we're buying Højlund, we're buying Sancho, he said. These are all things from the past. Whether we like it or not, we've inherited those things and have to sort that out. Antony's time at Old Trafford has been a disaster ever since his 2022 move from Ajax, but he has looked much improved since his January loan to La Liga. For Real Betis, the Brazilian winger has 4 goals and as many assists in 10 appearances so far this season. According to a fresh report from The Sun, Antony is desperate to leave United in the summer and join Betis permanently. It was further explained that the 25-year-old has quickly become a fan favorite at the Spanish outfit, who are interested in signing him. Antony reacts to European feat with Betis. One Manchester United star is reportedly desperate to leave the club in the summer following some brutal comments from Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Manchester United are expected to have a busy summer transfer window after the season's close, with Ruben Amorim's squad in need of strengthening. It is likely that the Reds are busy in terms of both incomings and outgoings, with sales need. Man United predicted lineup versus Leicester as big decisions made on Heaven, Højlund and Xerxes. The latest Man United team news, injury updates and predicted 11 ahead of their clash with Leicester City. Bruno Fernandes and Aiden Heaven were among the stars of the show for Manchester United, as they came from behind to hammer Real Sociedad 4-1 in the Europa League on Thursday night. It marked one of the best performances of the Ruben Amorim era, so far in what fans will hope can be a sign of things to come under the Portuguese head coach after a tricky start to life in the Old Trafford dugout. United have nearly a month to wait before their 2-legged showdown with French side Lyon in the quarterfinal of the competition, and in the meantime will look to build some much-needed momentum in the Premier League after a lackluster campaign on the domestic front so far. Amorim has a host of selection decisions to make ahead of the game and must now decide whether to stick with a similar team that finished the job off against Real Sociedad or rotate at the King Power Stadium to ensure optimum energy levels against a determined Leicester City side that are desperate to climb out of the relegation places under the guidance of former United icon Ruud van Nistelrooy. Ahead of a key match in the East Midlands, we take a look at the Red Devils' most likely starting lineup and how Amorim is expected to set up his team. Goalkeeper and defense Andre Onana is expected to keep his place in between the posts after helping his team to a comfortable victory against Real Sociedad. He had a quiet evening on Thursday and was rarely called into action after a solid display by his defense. Noussair Mazraoui came into the center of the defense and enjoyed a solid night at the back alongside marquee summer signing Matthijs de Ligt and the particularly impressive Aiden Heaven, who earned an 8 out of 10 rating for his display on his first European start via Manchester World. When discussing the teenager, Amorim told Manchester Evening News, "If he continues like that, he is going to play." At wingback, Diogo Dalot impressed with his desire to go forward and was once again consistent for the Red Devils, amid speculation linking him with a move to Bayern Munich. Likewise, January edition Patrick Dorgu enjoyed his best evening in a United shirt and was a source of attacking inspiration with his speed and overlapping runs. Brazil international Casemiro is expected to keep his place in the heart of midfield alongside hat-trick hero Bruno Fernandes have started each of the last 3 games in Kobbie Mainoo, Mason Mount and Manuel Ugarte's absence. In wide attack, Alejandro Garnacho and an improving Joshua Xerxes are expected to keep their place as they look to provide a creative outlet for out-of-form center-forward Rasmus Højlund, who is enduring a tricky period as of late. Man United predicted 11. Onana, Mazraoui, de Ligt, Heaven, Dorgu, Fernandes, Casemiro, Dalot, Xerxes, Garnacho, Højlund. Dalot sends strong message to Sir Jim Ratcliffe after overpaid jibe at Man United flops. Sir Jim Ratcliffe accused some members of Ruben Amorim's squad of being overpaid and underperforming, and Diogo Dalot admitted his message has resonated strongly inside the dressing room. Diogo Dalot has told Sir Jim Ratcliffe that Manchester United's players are prepared to sacrifice themselves to make the club great again. At the end of a week when United's outspoken co-owner accused some members of Ruben Amorim's squad of being overpaid and underperforming, Dalot admitted his uncompromising message has resonated strongly inside the Old Trafford dressing room. But the Portuguese defender insists that being ready to suffer for the cause has always been the price that comes with wearing the famous red shirt. "I think the history of this club is about sacrifice and fighting against the world," said Dalot ahead of United's trip to face Leicester. "It's about sacrificing yourself and each other every moment on the pitch and being together with the fans to create the energy we all feel in Old Trafford. This is the history of the club." If you want to be successful, you have to have that desire to try to do everything on the pitch. Whether you like it or not, the attitude has to be there. It is clear that when we are 14th or 15th in the league, we are not doing what we should. If we want to put Manchester United back on top, we need to do much better. Ultimately, this club will only progress through what we do on the pitch, so we are all responsible for the future and the momentum. We know that we have that responsibility, but we want to take it. The pressure is high, but we are Manchester United players for a reason. Amorim has been unable to win games on a consistent basis after replacing Erik ten Hag with a mandate to bring a new playing philosophy to the club. Dalot believes United are now on an upward trajectory after a 6-game run, where the only defeat has been the penalty shootout loss to Fulham. But he has told the INEOS group that has been put in charge of football operations at the club that having to navigate bumps in the road are a consequence of the changes they are bringing in. Dalot said, "If you are a top footballer, you need to be able to change things quickly. But obviously it does take time because we have been playing in the last few years in a different way. You can see this is a period of change, especially since Ineos have come in. The club wants to go in a direction. They want to rebuild Man United and put Man United back on top. I hope in the next couple of years we can go there. I think you are now seeing a much better team than a couple of months ago." He added, "When we talk about needing time, we aren't saying that just to buy time. I think it is something that is going to happen.